Zhou dynasty, from 1046 to 221 BC, slowly began to fall apart, and the separate states of China under its rule fought each other for control during the time of the Warring States period. The 7 states of China all believed they were fit to rule and replace the Zhou. These states battled with each other again and again, but none of them could gain an advantage over the others until Yan Zhuang of Qin adopted Xiangyang's philosophy of legalism in warfare, which was total war. The old rules of chivalry, which Chinese armies had always considered, were ignored by the Qin as they crushed one state after another. King Zhuangzhang of Qin ruled for only 3 years. He was succeeded by his son, Zhang, who, unlike the 2 elderly kings that preceded him, was only 13 years old at his coronation. As an adult, Zhang would turn out to be a brilliant commander who, in the span of just 9 years, achieved what all of his predecessors had failed to do, the unification of China. In 230 BC, Qin conquered Han. Han, the weakest of the 7 warring states, was adjacent to the much larger Qin, and had suffered continuous assaults by the Qin in earlier years of the Warring States period. This went on until Emperor Qin Shi Huang sent General Wang Jin to attack Zhou. King An of Han, frightened by the thought that Han would be the next target of the Qin state, immediately sent diplomats to surrender the entire kingdom without a fight, saving the Han populace from the terrible potential consequences of an unsuccessful resistance. In 225 BC, Qin conquered Wei. The Qin army led a direct invasion into Wei by sieging its capital, but soon realized that the city walls were too thick to break into. They devised a new strategy in which they utilized the power of a local river that was linked to the Yellow River. The river was used to flood the city's walls, causing massive devastation to the city. Upon realizing the situation, King Jia of Wei hurriedly came out of the capital and surrendered it to the Qin army in order to avoid further bloodshed of his people. In 223 BC, Qin conquered Chu. The first invasion was, however, an utter disaster, when 200,000 Qin troops, led by the inexperienced general Li Jin, were defeated by 500,000 Chu troops in the unfamiliar territory of Huiyang. Chang Yan, the Chu commander, had lured Qin by allowing a few initial victories, then counterattacked and burnt 2 large Qin camps. The following year, Wang Jian was recalled to lead a second invasion with 600,000 men. High in morale after their victory the previous year, the Chu forces were content to sit back and defend against what they expected to be a siege of Chu. However, Wang Jian decided to weaken Chu's resolve and tricked the Chu army by appearing to be idle in his fortifications, whilst secretly training his troops to fight in Chu territory. After a year, the Chu defenders decided to disband due to apparent lack of action from the Qin. Wang Jian invaded at that point with full force and overran Huiyang and the remaining Chu forces. The Chu lost the initiative and could only sustain local guerrilla-style resistance until it was too fully conquered and with the death of its last leader. At their peak, the combined armies of the Chu and Qin are estimated to have ranged from hundreds of thousands to 1 million soldiers, more than those involved in the campaigns between the Qin and the Zhou 35 years earlier. In 222 BC, Qin conquered Zhou and Yan. After the conquest of Zhou, the Qin army turned its attention towards Yan. Realizing the danger and gravity of the situation, Crown Prince Dan of Yan had sent Jing Qi to assassinate King Jing of Qin, but this failure only helped to fuel the rage and determination of the Qin king, and he increased the number of troops to conquer the Yan state. In 221 BC, Qin conquered Qi. Qi was the final unconquered warring state. It had not previously contributed or helped other states when Qin conquered them. As soon as Qin's intention to invade it became clear, Qi swiftly surrendered all of its cities, completing the unification of China and ushering in the Qin dynasty. The last Qi king lived out his days in exile in Gong and was not given a posthumous name after his death. Therefore, he is known to posterity by his personal name, Jian. The Qin king, Jing, declared himself Shu Huangti, the first sovereign emperor of Qin. In the rule of the Qin state, the union was based solely on military power. The feudal holdings were abolished and noble families were forced to live in the capital of China in order to be supervised. A national road as well as greater use of canals was used in order for deployment and supply of the army can be done at ease and with speed. The peasants were given a wider range of rights in regards to land, although were subject to taxation, creating a large amount of revenue for the state.